This video explains Step 2 in the Educator Journey, the planning document. Through the planning document, you will come up with the central focus and the objectives of the lesson, preparing you to write the lesson plan. Template 1 has a chart that breaks this process down step by step. The first 2 rows can be skipped for now if necessary. If you don't yet know what the full unit will look like, you can leave the unit objectives blank. Otherwise, this row will compile everything you want students to know by the end of the unit, both new knowledge and prior knowledge. You will also record the necessary state standards, and write an essential question for students to explore through the unit. If you have a lesson in mind but haven't settled on a resource to use, you can skip the second row. Otherwise, record your selections from the HRE Portal here. The following rows walk through the steps of backwards design. First, the lesson objectives include the knowledge and skills students should have by the end of the lesson. Next, this row asks for the proving behaviors, or the ways students will demonstrate their mastery of the objectives. By gaining the necessary knowledge and skills through the lesson, students will be able to complete the proving behaviors. The following row is on assessments, which measure the proving behaviors. These are split into 2 categories, performance tasks and other evidence. Performance tasks are the physical evidence of learning students will produce, including guided notes, handouts, and exit tickets. Other evidence refers to the informal assessments throughout the lesson, from questioning to the academic discourse you observe as you circulate. Next, there is space to plan the scaffold, or the sequence necessary to build knowledge and skills from introduction to independent practice. This row will translate over to the agenda in your lesson plan. Finally, the row for other sources is optional as well. As you browse the HRE Portal, you can keep track of other resources which could potentially continue the unit. I encourage you to look at the sample planning document, which builds on the resources I picked in the previous video, Strange Fruit, performed by Andre Day. This is a complete, detailed example of the planning document. I filled it out to this extent to model every step of my thought process, but in your own planning, feel free to shorten and reduce as needed. In the next video, we will discuss how to analyze resources directly in order to more effectively plan the lesson.